So welcome to the presentation of our paper, Why Eve and Mallory Still Love Android, Revisiting TLS and Security in Android Applications. I'm Marten Oltrogge from CISPA, and I present joint work with Nicolas, Huaman, Sabrina, Yasemin, Acar, Michael Backes, and Sascha Fahl. There's a long history of research on the urgent state of custom TLS in Android apps, rendering them vulnerable to man-in-the-middle attacks. So to address this urgent state, new countermeasures have been introduced, which we want to cover in this work and assess their efficiency and impact on Android. These include network security configuration, as well as safe defaults to make mounting of man-in-the-middle attacks harder, as well as safeguards introduced to Google Play to block apps containing vulnerable certificate validation code. So first we want to actually briefly introduce to network security configuration. This allows to implement custom network security behavior without writing code. So developers can allow or disallow text traffic, configure trust anchors, or even implement pinning without having to write code. For network security configuration, we wanted to assess the prevalence of in Android apps. Therefore, we collected 103 million applications and detected NSC to be in use in 99,212 applications. Of these, we could analyze 96,400 custom NSC files. As for the adoption, we see from the statistics that it correlates with the enforcement of Android 9, which deactivates pretext pinning by default in Android. And looking at the feature set used in NSC files, we also see why it was adopted. Since the number one and most prominent use case for NSC is actually allowing clear text traffic again, which undermines these safety defaults introduced with Android 9. Apart from this, we also conducted in-depth analysis on affected domains for these for clear text traffic. Next, we also analyzed custom trust anchor configuration. And here also we interestingly found that more than 8,600 applications actually re-enable trust for user installed CAs. This also undermines the new safe default introduced with Android 7 to better protect against man-in-the-middle attacks. Apart from that, we also gathered data on the distribution of trust anchors and also conducted more in-depth analysis on custom trust CAs in Android apps. Next, we also wanted to assess the prevalence of pinning being used to actually enhance the security of Android application. But here we actually only see a limited number of applications using pinning, employing pinning in their network security configuration. Still, we conducted in-depth analysis of certificate pins and conducted analysis on backup pins as well as pin exploration. So next, we actually want to focus on another interesting property regarding network security configuration, namely that not only we also uncovered floor parameter values that actually result in domain configuration having no effect as intended by developers. This is also true for so-called ambiguous pinning configuration, where pinning is actually specified in a network security configuration, but has no effect at runtime because of other setting being around. So root causes for these can be found attributed to copy and pasting of code samples, as well as limited documentation and limited tool support that does not inform developers that the NSC files are actually not valid. So next we want to actually present our evaluation of the efficiency of Google Play safeguards. Actually, for this, we actually built various insecure custom TLS implementation samples and tried to publish them on Google Play, actually violating their policies, of course. However, in the results we get that actually only 2 of these cases were actually rejected. The one being a WebView client where only the proceed method is scored on the error handler, as well as one insecure version of the Acar library, which is likely fingerprinted as and being therefore rejected. However, we conclude that there are limited capabilities for detecting dangerous implementations in Google Play's safeguards, as we can see only trivial cases being catched so far. Putting these results all together regarding our findings from NSC, we find that NSC impacts security on all levels of popularity in apps, as we can see from the results on the right here. It is not only used by unpopular apps, but also by apps with millions and 100 millions of users. To better assess the impact of actually insecure NSC settings, we also conducted a manual analysis of HTTP applications allowing HTTP again. And here we also uncovered threats of eavesdropping, as sensitive data transmitted via HTTP was found in our analysis, including login data and credentials. As for assessing the overall state of the ecosystem in terms of security of TLS code regarding our analysis of our study of Google safeguards, we replicated study from 2012 on the disastrous state of TLS and actually got the same results, with having that 1/3 of the application that we analyzed actually contained insecure TLS code, which is in line with work from 2012, as well as with the results from our Play safeguard study. So finally, putting this all together, we can derive that customization is still harmful, while new safe defaults actually enhance the security as a whole and reduce the attack surface for man-in-the-middle attack. On the other hand, NSC is mostly used to undermine these safe defaults. NSC is not only sparsely used to actually enhance the security of application, as we can only see 663 cases where pinning is used, actually. And also the safeguards are still insufficient. Actually, they are insufficient to enforce the new policies to avoid actually common pitfalls of insecure certificate validation in applications, as we find in our study on insecure code in the wild. Also, we see customization is error prone. Also, when using NSC, as we see new forms of misconception and misconfiguration, even if developers intend to enhance security of applications, we find that they can cause the opposite. This can be because of undiscerning use of copy and pasting code or a limited tool support. Therefore, we recommend a need for better code and tool documentation, as well as enhanced safeguards for developers. Thank you.